we're finally getting to see. Yeah,
It's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
You are not wrong, sir. What is up, interwebs? Big Lou here, Matt the Cut Man with me as always, and we have just come from seeing the movie Upgrade. If you're not familiar with this movie, don't be alarmed. It is a very small movie that you even said it seemed like it should have been like a Netflix movie.
Yeah, I really thought it was.
It is not. It is out in theaters. I really, really enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I thought the trailer seemed like it was interesting, and I'm like, okay, I'll go see that. It looks badass. It looks violent. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot more depth to the story than I was expecting.
Yeah. I thought to myself, wow, this is a really interesting take on the Frankenstein story.
Well, either that or it's the Frankenstein story or your typical like revenge story. You know what I mean? Because the Death Wish remake was very recently. I think this past year.
Eli Roth's.
Yeah. And that fell flat. It just was the same old.
Not the right time for a crazy man with a gun.
Well, that's a very true statement
given
as well.
What's going on.
But this movie, I thought it made me think. It made me go, oh, okay. And some of the performances, for people that I'd never heard of before, were spot on.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, the lead guy, I had
Tom
his name.
Hardy Light.
No, you'd seen him before. Alien Covenant. Logan Marshall Green was his name.
Okay.
He played. He went out pretty soon in Alien Covenant.
I didn't actually see Alien Covenant.
Not Covenant. Prometheus. Sorry. He was in Prometheus. You saw Prometheus, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember him in Prometheus.
Yeah, he was the guy that David poisoned first.
Oh,
to start it all.
Okay, yeah.
And he was also in. Did you see the movie Devil? M. Night Shyamalan produced but didn't direct. A bunch of people stuck in an elevator with the devil.
No, but my buddy of mine at work talks about that movie.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
So he's been in a few things. I had to look it up. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew I had seen that guy in a few things. So
yeah, and again, none of the other actors. Everybody kind of is one of those actors just like him. Has kind of been around the fringes, and now finally has some time to kind of step into the spotlight. So, and the movie was funnier than I thought it was going to be.
Had some comedic relief.
Yeah, it was. I will say that it was a little slow in the beginning.
It was,
and I kept waiting for it to be that badass action movie that we saw from the trailers and stuff, but I gotta tell you, man, there's this one sequence, and we'll get into some spoilers here in just a minute, that the dude was like pulling the tears, and I'm just like, wow, this is actually like, I'm really feeling for the guy, you know? He's a paraplegic in a wheelchair, and the whole thing. So what if anything stands out that didn't necessarily work for you about it? No spoiler. No spoilers.
I mean, I really went into it really just not knowing what to expect. And I feel like, going into these days, that is so refreshing, being able to go into a movie not knowing what to expect.
You want to know what the last movie that I did that with was? Was that one with Liam Neeson where he was on the airplane? It was several years ago, and he was...
Oh, he's the Sky Marshal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend of mine had dragged me to that one because she really wanted to see it, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll go see this.
Yeah, no, I remember that movie.
And it was really good.
Yeah.
I wish I could remember the name of it. But, it was... It is. It's... In this day and age of, we get so many trailers and so many TV spots.
And there's a spy shot of this, and it's, nitpicked to death of what does that mean for the plot and the story, and this, that, and another.
And because you and I do this show, we kind of have to be informed on who's doing what and what, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff.
That's why we're paid the big bucks, let's be honest.
Exactly. It's hard to maintain this without being,
Come on, folks.
incredibly wealthy. Exactly. So, but yeah, overall, I think this was a lot of fun at the movies. It is a hard R. There's some pretty couple of violent moments that made me go, whew, that hurt.
His first kill is badass.
Yeah, and this is not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. He's like going, stay down, man. Please stay
he's
down.
Like, come on, man. Stay down. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
So,
Stim, what do we do?
Yeah, and the banter between him and the AI in his head was... It reminded me a lot of like
Tony and Jarvis.
Tony and Jarvis. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I watched Jeremy Johns did a review, and if you're familiar with Jeremy Johns, then you've probably seen this. He called it RoboCop meets John Wick with Jarvis.
Yeah. It's what I wish RoboCop would have been.
Yeah. Dude, my still favorite part of that movie, that RoboCop reboot, was when you leaned over to me and said, Batman's talking to Commissioner Gordon, and it was Michael Keaton and Gary Oldman on screen together, and I went, God damn it, that's the only thing I'm going to see now.
But that whole, okay, you have an AI in your head, and who's really in control?
Dude, it is. This movie was all about...
asking a bigger question. For as badass of a movie it was, it did what good sci-fi does. It entertained, but it also asked a greater question.
Yeah.
And I wait a good long while for those.
Yeah.
And they're few and far between.
This movie was directed by the writer, so the person that came up with the idea, and I didn't recognize the name of the writer-director, but I will definitely be watching her career with great interest.
Okay, settle down.
Sorry. But yeah, no, it does. It absolutely does. And you, being the brand new owner of a Tesla, some of the conversations that you and I have had about that topic, kind of, there were more than once in the movie last night I wanted to kind of nudge him a little bit and go, But,
hey, look, my car drove me home successfully. It drove me here successfully. We had no problems.
We?
That's right.
Have y'all become one now?
I call it the Mark III.
Naturally. Excellent. Well, we're going to go ahead and dig into some spoilers here just for a few minutes. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and turn it off now. Come back to it after you have seen the movie. Because I highly recommend going to see this in the theater.
Look, I'm no expert, but I think telling our viewers to turn off their computers is probably not the best thing.
I have no response to that because I don't remember what the next line is. Anyway, so... yeah, man, when he first gets the chip and he starts hearing him talk, he's like, can anyone else hear you? And just some of their banter was hysterically funny to me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it wasn't, like, funny like it was, like they were trying to tell a joke. It was just, the interactions were very amusing.
Yeah, and I liked how they worked out the details right away. Of, can you hear my thoughts? No, I can only hear if you speak out loud. And they set the rules of that reality.
Yeah.
And that's a very nerdy thing to want to expect, but I like to hear those rules.
Yeah, for sure.
Of how that kind of thing works.
Yeah, no, and it does. You're absolutely right, because the first thing that you do when you're a kid playing t-ball in the yard is, where are the bases?
Yeah.
We got to know where the boundaries are so that we know where the sandbox is and how deep we can play. And some of the tech that they had in this movie I thought was really, really cool. Like when the guy breathed and it was the little nano things that attacked the guy after he breathed them in. I thought that was freaking badass.
They obviously swarmed up into his brain and just jumbled it up.
And that was friggin' intense. And then the guns in the palms of their hands.
Yeah, the augmented humans with the humans with the augmented hardware.
Yeah,
that had the breathing nanobots or the rifles built into their arms, and that's a interesting, if not albeit terrifying, glimpse into the future.
Highly terrifying, but yeah. So and the guy was loading the shotgun shells into his bicep, and it was. It's a little disheartening. Yeah, and
you're right. The look into the future with the automobiles and how everything is connected, and how the AI was able to infiltrate and sabotage.
Yeah,
that's a scary worst case scenario.
No, you're absolutely right. And one of the other things that was
that needs to be thought about.
Yeah, no, and it was so. The social commentary in this movie was incredibly subtle, yet incredibly profound, because it didn't hit you over the head with social commentary, but the entire premise of the movie was a commentary on how we are today with technology and our.
Right.
Because I mean, that's why, and again, massive spoiler here. That's why the main character Gray was chosen by
Fisk.
no, STEM.
STEM.
STEM
Right.
chose him because he hadn't had any upgrades. He was completely analog. I mean, he was a mechanic. You know?
Right.
So
it was a blank piece of paper.
yeah, exactly. And that, by the way, that reveal that the implant, that the chip STEM was the big bad of the whole thing, I thought was genius. It was genius because you never see the bad guy win.
Right. It was very 2001.
Oh yeah.
I was really waiting. Speaking of 2001, I was really waiting for Gray to wake up and STEM to say, "Good morning, Gray."
Yeah. That'll be in the deleted scene, I'm sure. But
I think maybe that would have been too obvious.
A little bit.
But I wanted it.
I think we all did at some point.
Because it did have a very HAL 9000
Oh, no. Even,
androgynous monotone voice.
did we ever look up who did the voice of STEM?
Nobody I'd heard of.
Okay, gotcha. Fair enough. That's cool. But yeah, and then when we get the reveal that, because the whole movie, I'm like, well, where are they going? Where are they going? They're not developing any of the why, as far as like, why did Fisk go kill his wife? Why did they, what was it about her company that there was a lot of MacGuffins or a lot of red herrings in this movie that were pointing you all in one direction, and at the end of it, it was just like, oh, what?
Yeah, that was
so very, very well done.
That was a looky-loo.
Yeah, it was. It was very well written. I really, really enjoyed how it totally made you go in a completely different direction at the end of the movie. So, but yeah, anything else that stands out that you?
But you see how I would think it would be a Frankenstein's monster reference.
I do, but let's pretend that they don't, and explain it.
because Fisk, the computer genius guy.
No. That was Aaron. Fisk was the dude with the mustache.
Oh, okay. So, Aaron, was the guy that invented STEM.
Yeah.
STEM became
became
the Frankenstein monster. The Frankenstein monster comes to life and comes back and wreaks havoc and kills his master.
Yeah. No, okay. I didn't put that together, and I should have. But you're absolutely right. Wow. Yeah, that's freaking deep.
Mary Shelley would be pleased.
Yeah. No,
her story is still being retold, just in an upgraded version.
See what you did there.
Hey.
And I don't think we're going to be able to top that with the rest of this video, so we will go ahead and end it
I
there.
can tell jokes on the fly. I don't guarantee they'll be good.
Yeah, no. Most of the time, but every now and then. Anyway, those are our thoughts on the movie Upgrade. What did you think of the movie? Go ahead and drop us a comment down in the comment section down below. Let us know what movies you would like us to go see and do reviews on. If there's any old movies that we haven't done stuff on, let us know. Drop us a note. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, just at the InterWebs Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel by clicking on the link right here. I got something else fun for you to watch right up here, and we got some pretty cool stuff coming up in the next few months. We've got Incredibles, we've got Incredibles 2, we've got Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and some other fun stuff. We'll be breaking it down here for you.
Nanosecond by nanosecond.
Thanks, Dan. We'll see you next time on the interwebs.